What's up everyone, Jon Venus here. Today I'm with my brother Leo and we're going to be discussing a very big and misunderstood topic within fitness, and that is cardio.
Cardio, or cardiovascular exercise, basically refers to the type of exercise that makes your pulmonary and cardiac systems work at a higher pace. So this could be, for example, sprinting, which would be done more in intervals, or it could be a lower intensity type, like for example walking, jogging, which would be done at a more continuous pace.
So obviously we know that cardio burns calories, so we're not going to go into the very basics. However, there are some additional concepts such as the afterburn effect that can help you lose fat even faster.
So when you think about the afterburn effect, usually you're thinking weight training and high intensity interval training, but we found that even more prolonged cardio sessions can increase the afterburn effect. A study from 2011 actually showed that the participants had an increased energy expenditure lasting up to 14 hours after exercising, meaning that even when laying at rest or laying in their bed, they're burning extra calories.
So one of the biggest discussions people have in regards to cardio is whether you should do it on a fasted state or in a fed state for optimal fat loss.
So the reason I think that most people think this is an advantage is because they think that when they're working out fasted, the energy that they're using up is going to come straight from the fat rather than the carbohydrates from the food they ate before the workout.
So we found a 2014 study by Brad Schoenfeld and Alan Aragon, and this study found no differences between training on a fasted or fed state. In other words, both groups lost fat at the same rate.
Another 2012 study found that the appetite was more suppressed in the fed state, meaning if you ate breakfast before cardio, your appetite was more suppressed after the cardio workout compared to working out fasted. However, during the rest of the day, the fasted group tends to catch up on calories, meaning that in the end of the day, they've consumed the same amount of calories, thus resulting in the same amount of fat loss.
Some people like bringing along a sugary drink to drink along with their cardio session, or to eat before doing the cardio. However, a 2001 study found that drinking water versus a high carbohydrate drink before and during exercise did not really affect muscle glycogen utilization.
In terms of fat, glycogen, and protein breakdown, most metabolic processes around training are actually pretty similar between men and women. However, we did find a study showing that women actually have better lipid utilization than men and also break down less muscle glycogen and protein during moderate intensity cardio. This might mean that women are actually less prone to muscle breakdown during cardiovascular exercise.
But this doesn't mean that men shouldn't do cardio, but rather that they may need to be a little bit more careful with the amount of cardio they're doing, especially when combining it with resistance and strength training.
So when thinking about adding cardio to your resistance training regime, there's a lot of fear, especially among men, who think that they're gonna lose muscle mass by incorporating more cardio.
First, we found a study comparing two groups of women doing the same resistance training program, where one group additionally did high intensity interval training. The study found that there was no difference in muscle strength between the two groups. Keep in mind that this was a very short duration study, and the energy intake was not accounted for. So if they were on a caloric deficit, the results may have been completely different. As when you're in a caloric deficit, you can easily experience loss in strength and to some extent a loss in muscle mass.
So looking more at the actual muscle mass, we actually found a study looking more specifically at older individuals, finding that cardiovascular exercise can actually increase muscle protein synthesis and has a role to play in maintaining and repairing muscle tissue as we age.
There was also a study done on female swimmers that showed that combining swimming and resistance training increased muscle protein synthesis rates above that seen with either type of training on its own. So combining resistance training with cardio may actually be beneficial even if your goal is to build muscle.
However, these results are not consistent across the board, with a 2012 meta-analysis combining 21 studies finding that concurrent training, meaning combining endurance and strength work, produce or cause interference between the adaptations seen with endurance versus strength work. This interference seemed to be body part specific, meaning if you did a lot of endurance work on your lower body or on your legs, for example jogging, then this could cause interference to your strength, hypertrophy, and power in your legs. However, your upper body should not be affected. So apart from these conflicting adaptations, some of the interference was also attributed to increased volume. Doing too many reps and sets can actually be more detrimental than beneficial when incorporating cardio. Also, the study did not find a significant negative effect of concurrent training or combining cardio with strength on hypertrophy or strength, but it did find a negative effect for power, meaning the muscles are weaker at higher velocities.
Another interesting point found in this study was that the fat loss was greatest in the concurrent training group, specifically when combining strength training with high intensity cardiovascular exercise.
From a bodybuilding perspective, however, the best results for maintaining muscle mass while losing fat is seen when the least duration and frequency of cardio needed to achieve the fat loss is used, while focusing on resistance training for maintaining muscle mass, hitting each muscle group at least twice a week.
Another thing that is really important to consider is that high intensity cardio work, or sprinting for example, is a lot more demanding and requires a lot more recovery compared to steady pace cardio. So to finish off, we're going to talk a little bit about the health benefits of doing cardio.
So while all forms of cardio seem to promote weight loss, fat loss, and reductions in blood pressure, when comparing continuous moderate exercise to aerobic interval training and people with metabolic syndrome, people who perform interval training experience greater improvements in endothelial function, or the function of blood vessels, insulin signaling, and skeletal muscle biogenesis. In another study comparing these forms of exercise in post-infarct heart failure patients, the same benefits were seen for aerobic interval training, with the added benefits of improved heart pump function, improved mitochondrial function, and an association with a reversal of left ventricular remodeling. High intensity interval training is also thought to be beneficial in brain health, with the only disadvantages here being that the large or quick changes in blood pressure associated with high intensity interval training can actually increase the risk for cerebral vascular accidents or strokes in people who already have those risk factors present. So in other words, high intensity interval training can actually be a very beneficial tool, not only in fitness but also in health and to treat various medical conditions.
So yeah, we both recommend everyone to do cardio, you know, a couple times a week. If it's not your goal to lose fat, it doesn't matter. It's just something that you need to do for optimal heart health. I personally do not feel at my best when I'm not doing cardio. I just feel slow and sluggish, and when I start doing loads of interval training and high intensity cardio work, I just feel a lot more energetic.
Cardio exercise can actually be a lot more fun than just lifting weights. You know, cardio can be everything from biking to dancing to cycling to climbing or whatever.
Exactly.
So you can find the type of cardio that suits you and that makes you feel like you're having a lot of fun at the same time.
Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. So make sure to subscribe to Leo's channel. Link will be in the description box below. Awesome content, and of course you need to subscribe because he is my brother. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon. Peace out.